Welcome to Vorldrevolution. Dear friends, today we will summarize the book summary of You Can Read Anyone by David J. Lieberman. The overview section sets the stage for the book's primary objective, to equip readers with the skills to understand and interpret the thoughts and feelings of others accurately. Lieberman emphasizes that this book is not about reading body language or relying on intuition. Instead, it introduces scientifically proven psychological techniques that can be applied in real-life situations to discern what someone is truly thinking or feeling. The author begins by debunking common myths about reading people, such as the idea that body language alone can provide all the answers. He argues that while body language can offer some clues, it is often ambiguous and can be easily misinterpreted. Instead, Lieberman focuses on more reliable methods grounded in psychology. One of the key points in the overview is the practicality of the techniques presented. Lieberman assures readers that these methods can be used instantly and effectively in various scenarios, from personal relationships to professional settings. Whether you're trying to determine if a poker player will fold, if a salesperson is trustworthy, or if a date is going well, the book promises to provide the tools needed to make accurate assessments. Lieberman also highlights the importance of these skills in high-stakes situations, such as negotiations, interrogations, and detecting deception. By understanding the underlying psychological principles, readers can protect themselves and their loved ones from being misled or taken advantage of. Chapter 1: Understanding the Basics of Psychological Reading. Understanding the basics of psychological reading delves into the foundational principles that underpin the techniques presented throughout the book. Lieberman begins by emphasizing that psychological reading is not about mind reading or supernatural abilities. Instead, it is a systematic approach to understanding human behavior through observable cues and scientifically validated methods. The author introduces the concept of psychological reading by explaining that every action, no matter how small, is driven by underlying thoughts and emotions. By paying close attention to these actions, one can infer the mental state of the person. Lieberman stresses the importance of context in interpreting these cues. For example, a person's behavior in a high-stress situation may differ significantly from their behavior in a relaxed environment. One of the key elements discussed is the role of verbal and nonverbal communication. Lieberman explains that while words can be manipulated, nonverbal cues such as facial expressions, gestures, and posture often reveal true feelings. He provides examples of how to interpret these signals accurately, cautioning against common pitfalls like over-relying on a single indicator. Lieberman also introduces the concept of baseline behavior, which refers to an individual's typical behavior patterns. By establishing a baseline, one can more easily detect deviations that may indicate stress, deception, or other significant emotions. This approach requires careful observation and patience, as it involves understanding what is normal for a particular person before making any judgments. Another important aspect covered is the psychological principle of projection, where individuals project their own feelings and attitudes onto others. Lieberman explains how recognizing projection can help in understanding a person's true thoughts and feelings, as people often reveal more about themselves than they realize through their assumptions about others. Throughout this section, Lieberman emphasizes the importance of empathy and active listening. By genuinely trying to understand the other person's perspective, one can gain deeper insights into their psychological state. This empathetic approach not only aids in psychological reading but also fosters better communication and relationships. Understanding the basics of psychological reading lays the groundwork for the more advanced techniques discussed later in the book. It provides readers with a solid foundation in the principles of human behavior, emphasizing the importance of context, baseline behavior, nonverbal cues, projection, and empathy. These basics are crucial for anyone looking to accurately interpret the thoughts and feelings of others in various situations. Chapter 2: The Science Behind Lie Detection and Truth Verification. The section of the science behind lie detection and truth verification delves into the psychological and scientific principles that underpin the ability to discern truth from deception. Lieberman emphasizes that lie detection is not about relying on intuition or gut feelings but rather on understanding specific behavioral and psychological cues that indicate dishonesty. Lieberman begins by explaining that lying is a cognitively demanding task. When a person lies, they must create a false narrative while simultaneously suppressing the truth. This mental juggling act often results in detectable signs of stress and inconsistency. The author highlights several key indicators of deception, including changes in speech patterns, body language, and facial expressions. One of the primary techniques Lieberman discusses is the analysis of verbal cues. He explains that liars often exhibit certain speech patterns, such as providing overly detailed or vague responses, using distancing language, e.g., that person instead of I, and displaying inconsistencies in their stories. By carefully listening to how someone speaks, one can pick up on these subtle signs of deception. Nonverbal cues are another critical aspect of lie detection. Lieberman points out that while people can control their words, they often have less control over their body language. Common nonverbal indicators of lying include avoiding eye contact, fidgeting, and displaying microexpressions, brief, involuntary facial expressions that reveal true emotions. Lieberman provides examples of how to interpret these signals accurately, cautioning against jumping to conclusions based on a single cue. The author also introduces the concept of baseline behavior, which refers to an individual's typical behavior patterns. By establishing a baseline, one can more easily detect deviations that may indicate lying. For instance, if a person who is usually calm and composed suddenly becomes nervous and fidgety, it could be a sign of deception. Lieberman emphasizes the importance of observing a person over time to understand their baseline behavior accurately. Lieberman further explores the psychological mechanisms behind lying, such as the fear of getting caught and the cognitive load of maintaining a lie. He explains that these factors can lead to physiological responses like increased heart rate, sweating, and changes in voice pitch. While these physiological signs can be useful, Lieberman cautions that they should be considered alongside other indicators, as they can also be triggered by stress or anxiety unrelated to lying. Throughout this section, Lieberman underscores the importance of context in lie detection. He advises readers to consider the situation and the individual's baseline behavior before making any judgments. By combining verbal and nonverbal cues with an understanding of the psychological principles behind lying, one can develop a more accurate and reliable method of truth verification. The science behind lie detection and truth verification provides readers with a comprehensive understanding of the psychological and behavioral cues that indicate deception. Lieberman emphasizes the importance of context, baseline behavior, and a combination of verbal and nonverbal indicators in accurately detecting lies. This section equips readers with practical tools and insights to navigate situations where truth and deception are at play. Chapter 3: Decoding Body Language and Nonverbal Communication. This section explores the intricate ways in which our bodies communicate messages that our words might not. Lieberman emphasizes that understanding these nonverbal cues is crucial for accurately interpreting the thoughts and feelings of others. Lieberman begins by explaining that nonverbal communication encompasses a wide range of behaviors, including facial expressions, gestures, posture, and eye movements. These cues often occur subconsciously and can reveal a person's true emotions and intentions, even when their words suggest otherwise. One of the key points Lieberman makes is the importance of context in interpreting body language. A single gesture or expression can have different meanings depending on the situation and the individual's baseline behavior. For example, crossing arms might indicate defensiveness in one context but simply be a comfortable resting position in another. Therefore, it's essential to consider the overall context and the person's usual behavior patterns before drawing conclusions. Lieberman delves into specific nonverbal cues and their potential meanings. For instance, he explains that genuine smiles, which involve the muscles around the eyes, known as Duchenne smiles, are indicators of true happiness, while fake smiles often only engage the mouth. Similarly, he discusses how microexpressions, brief, involuntary facial expressions, can reveal hidden emotions such as anger, fear, or sadness, even if someone is trying to conceal them. Another significant aspect covered is the concept of mirroring. Lieberman explains that people often subconsciously mimic the body language of those they are comfortable with or trying to build rapport with. Observing whether someone is mirroring your gestures and posture can provide insights into their level of engagement and agreement. Lieberman also highlights the role of eye contact in nonverbal communication. Sustained eye contact can indicate interest and confidence, while avoiding eye contact might suggest discomfort or deceit. However, cultural differences play a significant role in how eye contact is perceived, so it's important to be aware of these variations. The author provides practical tips for decoding body language in real-life situations. He suggests paying attention to clusters of behaviors rather than isolated gestures, as multiple cues together can provide a more accurate picture of someone's emotional state. For example, if someone is avoiding eye contact, fidgeting, and has a tense posture, these combined signals are more likely to indicate discomfort or deception than any single cue alone. Lieberman also advises readers to be mindful of their own body language and how it might be perceived by others. By consciously adopting open and positive nonverbal behaviors, one can foster better communication and build stronger relationships. Decoding body language and nonverbal communication provides readers with a comprehensive understanding of how to interpret the subtle, often subconscious signals that people send through their body language. Lieberman emphasizes the importance of context, clusters of behaviors, and cultural awareness in accurately reading nonverbal cues. This section equips readers with valuable tools to enhance their ability to understand and connect with others on a deeper level. Chapter 4: Analyzing Speech Patterns to Uncover Hidden Intentions. The section off Analyzing Speech Patterns to Uncover Hidden Intentions delves into the subtle yet revealing aspects of how people communicate verbally. Lieberman emphasizes that speech patterns can provide significant insights into a person's true thoughts and intentions, often more reliably than body language alone. Lieberman begins by explaining that our choice of words, tone, and manner of speaking can unconsciously reveal our inner state. He introduces the concept of verbal leakage, where hidden emotions and intentions slip out through our speech. This can include inconsistencies, hesitations, and specific word choices that betray what we are truly thinking or feeling. One of the key techniques Lieberman discusses is the analysis of speech content. He explains that liars often provide either too much detail or too little. Overly detailed stories can be a sign of fabrication, as the speaker tries to make the lie more believable by adding unnecessary information. Conversely, vague responses can indicate an attempt to avoid revealing too much. By paying attention to the level of detail in someone's speech, one can gauge the likelihood of deception. Lieberman also highlights the importance of speech structure. He notes that truthful statements tend to be more straightforward and chronological, while deceptive statements may be more convoluted and disjointed. Liars might struggle to keep their story straight, leading to contradictions and changes in their narrative. Observing these structural elements can help in identifying dishonesty. Another significant aspect covered is the use of distancing language. Lieberman explains that people who are lying or hiding something often use language that distances themselves from the subject. For example, instead of saying "I didn't take the money," a person might say "the money wasn't taken by me." This subtle shift in language can indicate an attempt to dissociate from the lie. Lieberman also discusses the role of emotional congruence in speech. When people speak truthfully, their words, tone, and body language are usually aligned. However, when lying, there can be a mismatch between what they say and how they say it. For instance, someone might express sadness verbally but have a tone or facial expression that doesn't match. Detecting these incongruences can be a powerful tool in uncovering hidden intentions. Throughout this section, Lieberman emphasizes the importance of context and baseline behavior. He advises readers to consider the context in which the speech occurs and to compare the person's current speech patterns to their usual way of speaking. Sudden changes in speech patterns can be a red flag indicating stress, deception, or hidden intentions. In summary, analyzing speech patterns to uncover hidden intentions provides readers with practical tools to interpret the subtle cues embedded in verbal communication. Lieberman emphasizes the importance of speech content, structure, distancing language, and emotional congruence in detecting deception. By paying close attention to these elements and considering the context and baseline behavior, one can gain deeper insights into a person's true intentions. Chapter 5: Mastering Emotional and Behavioral Cues for Accurate Readings. The section of Mastering Emotional and Behavioral Cues for Accurate Readings delves into the nuanced art of interpreting the subtle signals that people unconsciously emit. Lieberman emphasizes that mastering these cues is essential for accurately understanding others' thoughts and emotions, which can be invaluable in both personal and professional interactions. Lieberman begins by explaining that emotional and behavioral cues are often more reliable indicators of a person's true feelings than their words. These cues include facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, and even micro-expressions, brief, involuntary facial movements that reveal genuine emotions. By learning to recognize and interpret these signals, one can gain deeper insights into what someone is really thinking or feeling. One of the key points Lieberman makes is the importance of context. He stresses that the same behavior can have different meanings depending on the situation and the individual's baseline behavior. For example, a person who is usually very animated might become unusually quiet when they are upset. Understanding the context helps in accurately interpreting these deviations from the norm. Lieberman also discusses the concept of emotional congruence. This refers to the alignment between a person's verbal statements and their nonverbal cues. When someone is being truthful, their words, tone, and body language are typically in harmony. However, when there is a discrepancy, such as saying "I'm fine" while displaying a tense posture and a strained voice, it can indicate that the person is hiding their true feelings. Another significant aspect covered is the role of micro-expressions. These fleeting facial expressions can reveal emotions that a person is trying to conceal. For instance, a quick flash of anger or sadness might appear on someone's face before they compose themselves. Lieberman explains that by training oneself to notice these micro-expressions, one can detect underlying emotions that might otherwise go unnoticed. Lieberman also highlights the importance of body language. He explains that certain gestures and postures can indicate specific emotions. For example, crossed arms might suggest defensiveness, while leaning forward can indicate interest and engagement. However, he cautions against interpreting any single gesture in isolation. Instead, he advises looking for clusters of behaviors that together provide a clearer picture of the person's emotional state. Tone of voice is another crucial element in mastering emotional and behavioral cues. Lieberman points out that changes in pitch, speed, and volume can convey a lot about a person's feelings. A higher pitch might indicate nervousness, while a slower, softer tone could suggest sadness or hesitation. By paying attention to these vocal cues, one can gain additional insights into the speaker's emotions. Throughout this section, Lieberman emphasizes the importance of empathy and active listening. He advises readers to approach interactions with a genuine desire to understand the other person's perspective. This empathetic approach not only aids in accurately reading emotional and behavioral cues but also fosters better communication and stronger relationships. In summary, mastering emotional and behavioral cues for accurate readings provides readers with practical tools and insights to interpret the subtle signals that reveal a person's true emotions. Lieberman emphasizes the importance of context, emotional congruence, micro-expressions, body language, and tone of voice in accurately reading others. By developing these skills, one can enhance their ability to understand and connect with people on a deeper level. Chapter 6: Applying Psychological Reading Skills in Professional and Personal Relationships. The section explores how the techniques discussed in the book can be effectively utilized in various aspects of life. Lieberman emphasizes that mastering these skills can significantly enhance one's ability to navigate both professional and personal interactions with greater insight and confidence. Lieberman begins by highlighting the importance of psychological reading in professional settings. He explains that understanding the true thoughts and feelings of colleagues, clients, and superiors can lead to more effective communication, better decision-making, and stronger relationships. For instance, in negotiations, being able to read the other party's intentions and emotional state can provide a strategic advantage. By recognizing signs of hesitation or enthusiasm, one can adjust their approach to achieve more favorable outcomes. In the workplace, Lieberman discusses how psychological reading can help in team dynamics. By understanding the underlying motivations and concerns of team members, a leader can foster a more collaborative and supportive environment. This can lead to increased productivity and job satisfaction. Additionally, being able to detect signs of stress or dissatisfaction early on allows for timely interventions, preventing potential conflicts and improving overall team morale. Lieberman also addresses the application of these skills in personal relationships. He explains that being able to accurately read the emotions and intentions of loved ones can lead to deeper connections and more meaningful interactions. For example, recognizing when a partner is feeling anxious or upset, even if they are not verbally expressing it, allows for more empathetic and supportive responses. This can strengthen the bond and trust between individuals. In romantic relationships, Lieberman emphasizes the importance of emotional congruence. He explains that when partners' verbal and nonverbal cues align, it fosters a sense of trust and authenticity. Conversely, discrepancies between what is said and how it is said can lead to misunderstandings and mistrust. By being attuned to these cues, one can navigate relationship dynamics more effectively and address issues before they escalate. Lieberman also explores the role of psychological reading in parent-child relationships. He explains that understanding a child's emotional state and underlying needs can lead to more effective parenting. For instance, recognizing signs of anxiety or frustration in a child allows parents to provide appropriate support and guidance. This can help in fostering a secure and nurturing environment, promoting healthy emotional development. Throughout this section, Lieberman emphasizes the importance of empathy and active listening. He advises readers to approach interactions with a genuine desire to understand the other person's perspective. This empathetic approach not only aids in accurately reading psychological cues but also fosters better communication and stronger relationships. In summary, applying psychological reading skills in professional and personal relationships provides readers with practical insights on how to utilize the techniques discussed in the book to enhance their interactions in various aspects of life. Lieberman emphasizes the importance of understanding underlying emotions and intentions, fostering empathy, and maintaining emotional congruence to build stronger, more meaningful relationships. Chapter 7 Conclusion. The author brings together the various techniques and insights discussed throughout the book, emphasizing their practical application in everyday life. Lieberman reiterates that the ability to read people accurately is not about possessing a supernatural talent but about understanding and applying psychological principles. Lieberman begins by reminding readers of the core premise, that human behavior is driven by underlying thoughts and emotions, which can be deciphered through careful observation and analysis. He emphasizes that the techniques presented in the book are grounded in scientific research and have been proven effective in real-world scenarios. One of the key takeaways from the conclusion is the importance of practice and patience. Lieberman acknowledges that mastering the art of psychological reading takes time and effort. He encourages readers to apply the techniques consistently and to learn from their experiences. By doing so, they can refine their skills and become more adept at interpreting the subtle cues that reveal a person's true thoughts and feelings. Lieberman also highlights the ethical considerations of using these techniques. He stresses that the goal of psychological reading should be to foster better understanding and communication, not to manipulate or deceive others. By approaching interactions with empathy and integrity, readers can build stronger, more authentic relationships. The author provides a final reminder of the practical benefits of psychological reading. Whether in professional settings, such as negotiations and interviews, or in personal relationships, the ability to accurately read others can lead to more effective communication, better decision-making, and deeper connections. Lieberman encourages readers to use their newfound skills to enhance their interactions and to navigate social situations with greater confidence and insight. The conclusion of You Can Read Anyone reinforces the book's central themes and provides a motivational call to action. Lieberman emphasizes the importance of practice, ethical use, and the practical benefits of psychological reading. By applying the techniques discussed in the book, readers can improve their ability to understand and connect with others, ultimately leading to more successful and fulfilling interactions. Thank you for listening. I hope this content is useful to you. If you like this kind of content, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel to support our team.